All right, what's up, everybody? Wraith Realm TV, your favorite commentator. Back with another video for you guys. Get your favorite beverage, get what you need, come enjoy the show. Got a lot to talk about here on SmackDown for Friday, 2/20/2026. Yes, it's on sci-fi because of what's going on with the Winter Olympics. I know a lot of people are tuning into the Winter Olympics more than they are SmackDown, but I got to tell you guys, every week, let's just keep it real here on the SmackDown train. This is your A show. I'm more excited weekly to watch SmackDown than I am Raw. Isn't that weird? I'm more excited to watch a SmackDown than I am a Raw. Whoever's booking and scripting SmackDown is doing a better job than Raw. And I believe Triple H is hands off on SmackDown. He's got a different writing team and whatnot that does and head booker for SmackDown, and he does Raw, something like that. But I gotta keep it real. I think SmackDown is the better product right now. I like the youth. I like the mix that they're doing. I like the fact that they kind of have a new tree going on with the MFTs. I'm really enjoying the whole storyline between Jade and Charlotte, and then Jade kind of running SmackDown. But at the same time, Jade is still green. Jade still hasn't come over her flaws yet, and I'm still waiting for it. As a champion, I keep watching her matches on SmackDown, and it's not been great. Ever since she got that belt off of Tiffy Time, it's not been that great. I'm still waiting for Jade to come into her own. And it's like Jade is kind of like Steven Strasberg, and I know I'm going to say that, where all this potential but falls apart. Or she's like I said this always about Jade. She's a six man on a basketball team. She's like that sixth person that comes off the bench and wins you championships with their shots. Like she's like a Robert Ory in a way, right? I'm not trying to be mean or a jerk towards Jade, but it's just the truth about Jade. I'm not a big fan, and her promo work is like Last Legend. It's like the same way I feel about Last Legend. Like Last Legend only has a few moves and it's not good, and they have a lot of flaws. Like, you got to give AEW credit. AEW with Jade has kept her flaws at bay when she had that long time. The AEW knew what they were doing with Jade. But WWE, it's starting to become very apparent Jade's flaws are showing, and it gets worse and worse by the week. And this is where Jade should have been in the WWE farm system called NXT and then brought up to the main roster. Now, where Jade is great is at promos. She is a promo. She can cut a promo that I'm the baddest bitch in the world, blah, blah, blah. But her wrestling work is not that good. When she does a segment and then she goes off and tries to beat somebody down, it don't look good. And AEW protected her a lot from it. You know what I mean? Um, Again, Cody Rhodes kicking off SmackDown. Look, and then you have Drew McIntyre up there, and then you have Jacob Fatu. I like how this is going to turn into a somewhat. I'm going to figure it's going to be Jacob Fatu, and I'm going to believe this Drew McIntyre. I think Cody Rhodes is destined for Randy Orton. I do. I think Orton's going to turn heel somewhere here, and it's going to turn on Cody. I think this is where we're heading for WrestleMania. I really think it's going to be Cody and Randy Orton at Mania, and it'll be both of them. Something's going to happen to where it's going to be them. I think it's going to be more Jacob Fatu going over at Mania. I think Jacob Fatu is going to be your next undisputed champion. I really believe this. Jacob Fatu, all breaks, all gas. I like it. I like him a lot. Don't get me wrong. Drew needed the title. How many times are you going to put Drew in a world heavyweight or a undisputed match before you're going to finally give him the title that he deserves? You know what I mean? Drew's doing the best work that he's done in a minute. Kudos to Drew. Drew makes these segments. He's a troll. He's an asshole. It makes sense. And, with Nick Aldis, I'm waiting for Nick Aldis to get in the ring. I would rather see Nick Aldis drop his general managership and become a wrestler before he gets too old, in the teeth. You know what I mean? But I did like this segment. Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov were backstage talking about their respective matches tonight. Hayes encouraged Dragunov to take care of his business, take care of his shit against Tama Tonga, while Dragunov wished Hayes luck in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. So let me keep this real with you. I like what SmackDown is doing completely with the youth movement. I honestly think SmackDown should continue this because they are the A show right now. They are the A show as far as I'm concerned, WWE goes. They are doing stuff that Raw ain't doing. Raw's keeping to the same mumbo jumbo, old, and not bringing up youth. You know, I feel like Raw is slow. I feel it's boring. And I feel like there's just no progression there. You know, yeah, they have the Vision. Yeah, they have Braun Breaker that's out with a hernia and maybe out for a very long time. And then we got Seth coming back, and then all these injuries that are happening to all these characters on Raw is just holding the product back. And then when you go over here on SmackDown, Trick Williams winning tonight and going to the Elimination Chamber was the right move. I think Trick Williams, if you want to go there, I think could be undisputed champion right now. Carmelo Hayes, I think if you keep building him, I think he could also be undisputed. The way SmackDown is constructed right now, I'm liking it. What I don't like is you have wrestlers like Roman Reigns that want to hold back those divisions. Roman Reigns is in the twilight end of his career and is going to probably go into movies coming soon. And Cody's in that same boat. If I'm Cody and I'm Roman, I would start putting over these younger talents for the future. Roman won't do that, and Cody won't do that. I can tell you right now, they both won't do that. And it's a shame because I think personally, Carmelo's your future. Definitely Trick Williams is. I think Trick Williams could be your face on SmackDown right now with a belt on him. I even think Jacob Fatu could be that. And if they want to bring Zilla Fatu from House of Glory over too, they got a great youth movement on SmackDown. Kudos to Triple H and what they're doing on SmackDown. Like, you know, everybody gives Triple H shit, right? We all give Triple H shit. I'm included on that. But I like what they're doing on SmackDown. I'm not going to say fully what Triple H is doing is a good thing, but I'm going to say as far as SmackDown goes, I'll give them that. The youth movement, Jordan Grace, kind of getting... The one thing with Jordan Grace I wish they would do is have her win something. Give her a payoff at this point. The part that I'm getting annoyed with her, you having her come in, be the badass. You had her coming in from TNA. Do something with her. You brought her on to SmackDown with this youth movement. Have her do something and win maybe United States belt. I like Julia, but Julia needs to come off her other shit. That's my personal opinion. The MFTs tonight, Ilya Dragunov, the match was great. It's a typical MFT match. I will say this. Ilya shouldn't have lost here, but I understand why they did it. I get it. Tama Tonga gets the victory with his finisher, and then they beat down Ilya Dragunov at the end of it. Look, I'm going to say this about the Wyatt Sick, right? I'm going to say this real quickly. And I'm going to get hated on for this, but we keep doing things with this group, and it needs to pan out of a championship somewhere. Give him a U.S. belt. Do something. Because to me, I feel like they're wasting the Wyatt Sick by the month. You know what I mean? Wyatt was a big deal, and his brother's a big deal, and when the B team was all said and done, they were doing amazing things. They were getting over. The Wyatt Sick, I haven't felt that they've been over. I felt like they've been more injured, and in the pushing of them has not been there. And I feel like they're wasting them. I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like Bo Dallas is being wasted and the Wyatt Six is being wasted. I like what they are. I like the construction of them. I think carrying Wyatt's legacy is great, but they're still doing nothing with these guys. You know, I get the titles. I get this. I get that. But can we do something more with them? And it's getting really sad to see that it's kind of like LA Knight in a way. It's like, this guy came in with an aura, and we still haven't utilized it. We haven't tapped into that. You know what I mean? So they had a little segment there with the MFT saying you're not the only one on SmackDown, and I'll see you in the ring 1v1. Don't bring your people. I won't bring my people. And then we have a shape up to be a good hit and match right off of the MFT's expected interference, and then the ending. The Wyatt Six nonsense didn't help the matters, and I agree. I agree with what I said in my notes there. And like I said, the MST feud, they've done this multiple times. Matt Cardona came out and tried to help out. Apollo Cruz, like these are like Matt Cardona. I don't understand why he signed with WWE. I get his wife's there, but they really haven't done anything with him since he's been there. I feel like he just took money to be there and have a lighter schedule, and he just keeps getting beat down. This is a guy that should be in the main card world heavyweight division here. When he was on the indie scene, he was treated like a main eventer, and I don't understand. Same with Apollo Cruz. I don't get Apollo Cruz either. That's another one. Jay Cargill addresses a recent events. Do we really care about Jay Cargill's recent events? She beat Jordan Grace. She calls out Liv Morgan, basically says, look, Monday I will be there. You could pick and choose. It's in my hometown. You're going to pick and choose no matter who. And then I'll see whoever at Elimination Chamber or yada, 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 right? Jay Cargill, the problem with her is it's destined for Charlotte Flair and Jay Cargill. I do think that way. But tonight, they went the opposite way of this. They gave Kiana James, honestly, the victory. And I turned around and went, why? Why are we giving Kiana James that hasn't done anything on SmackDown something? I would rather see Charlotte Flair go into the Elimination Chamber and come out the victor. You know what I mean? And then let's have that Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Queen versus bitch moment, and let's get it on. See, to me, I think I hope I'm wrong. I think they're gonna have like a special elimination match. Sorry, elimination. What I speak my own language. Elimination match. I think that's what they're gonna do, where everybody that got elimination, in these triple threat matches will have one more opportunity. So I think Charlotte will go there. Charlotte will win. I think Charlotte will go into the Elimination Chamber. Look, I'm gonna say this real quickly with each and every one of you, and I'm gonna be real with each and every one of you. It should be Jay Cargill versus Charlotte Flair for the title at Mania. I think it works out perfectly. The storyline writes itself. Now, we had Randy Orton interviewed about being in the Elimination Chamber with Aleister Black and his Zelina Vega or Elimination Chamber elimination match or whatever that qualifies. The two spoke cryptic riddles before responding by a challenge from Orton, who told Black fight him for the ring tonight. Else, Last Legend and Nia Jax were interviewed. They said be on their way of winning the Elimination Chamber and on the way to winning the women's tag team titles. We have learned that two would be facing Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the tag team titles in a future date. So there you go. Jade Cargill cuts her promo, and Kiana James beats Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair goes for the figure 8. Kiana James pins her 1, 2, 3, and I sat back and I just went, "What the hell are we doing?" Unless they're gonna have Charlotte Flair come from the heavens and win the second chance elimination chamber match, something like that. What they'll do, probably something of the range. Again, Kiana James defeats Charlotte Flair. My bad. It's late night. I'm kind of clearing the cobwebs out still. I had my second cup of coffee. Uma Faley versus Kit Wilson. This was the circus match of the night. Uma Faley destroyed Kit Wilson after doing a bell rag and took the microphone, and he said to Femi, who had read about a poem, he felt like the opponent grew. Okay, it was a stupid poem, and he basically got destroyed after that. Uma Faley wins 1, 2, 3. Kit Wilson, let's keep it real here. Pretty deadly. I think Kit Wilson's just going to be a circus joke. I really do. And they're already showing it. It's kind of like Grayson Waller in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, Kit Wilson is better than this. Kit Wilson has promo skills, and I don't know why we're putting him in throwaway matches at this point. But, you know. Tiffany Stratton versus Emma Fire with Chelsea Green. Again, Tiffany Stratton beats Emma Fire. Do we care? Emma Fire has done nothing except be a jockey to, basically. Let's just keep it real. So in front of the mystery box, Nick Aldis confronted R-Truth, who said that inside the box of Elimination Chamber awards, Aldis is instructed to single hand send the mystery box to Raw. Damian Priest entered the scene. Truth mistake through he was in the Elimination Chamber match, and Aldis told Truth, no, that's about an error. And he was told by Truth that he liked him better when he was bald. Look, the whole R-Truth thing, they're not booking him properly. They're putting him in circus acts every week. It's just becoming old. R-Truth should have a send-off tour at this point. That's my personal opinion on that. Tiffany Stratton did Tiffany Stratton things. Basically, Emma Fire was just there to be a squash match. Basically. Cody Rhodes chatted with Sami Zayn and said that Zayn has nothing to be ashamed about. However, Zayn did not see it that way, as Rhodes had something to be ashamed of due to what he did last week to get the win. Rhodes defeated him and stated that is an opportunity he needs to take order of to be champion, and argued Zayn said that, or anger Zayn said Rhodes did not know what it was like to do the right thing to have it blow up in his face. Basically, Sami Zayn, look, at the end of the day, Sami Zayn, let's be real here. If he turns into a bad guy and a paranoid guy, it's just the same shit again. I mean, again, I'm going to say this. Look, I know I shit on Connor James winning the elimination match and going into the Elimination Chamber. And I know probably Charlotte Flair is going to be there. And I know some people are going to say I'm being a little bit kind of cynical that I said that the youth movement and how great SmackDown is, and I'm kind of shitting on it. No, I'm just saying some of the decisions they make. Like I get Tiffany Stratton is going to probably win the United States title. I think that's what they're going to head her to, is the United States title. I think she's going to take that off of Julia eventually. I feel that way about that, and poor Julia, because they don't know what to do with Julia. Let's just keep it real here on this channel. Like, they don't know what to do with her. And then when it comes to Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick Williams, look, give him everything. Trick Williams is 5 stars. I think if they build Royce Keys this way, I think it'll be an amazing thing. Royce Keys, I feel like they're going to try to build him like a brute, kind of like Bronson Reed, and I hope not, because I think Royce Keys would be better off, not on Raw, on SmackDown. I think he would be great for the U.S. division, the U.S. title division. I think if you want to bring him down, maybe do guest appearances in NXT. He can be in Uma Feli, like what Uma used to be in NXT. I think you could do a lot with Royce Keys over in NXT. I know he's destined for main roster stuff, but I really think if you really want to go there, I think Royce Keys would be perfect in NXT. I think he suits NXT, but that's me. But the way WWE sees him as a main eventer I think SmackDown would be perfect. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, that division would be stacked. I honestly think constructed right now, SmackDown has the better roster, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, Trick Williams did the whoop that trick, and that was that. And that was pretty much literally that match. Trick Williams, look, I like Carmelo Hayes. I like Damian Priest, but this is Trick Williams' time. Trick Williams will have a good showing in the Elimination Chamber, but I don't think it's going to be him coming out of it. I do think it'll probably be Jacob Fatu, probably. I think that's what they're going to go with. Julia versus Rhea Ripley. Originally, it was meant to be Julia and Io Sky, and there was a change last minute underway. Julia locked horns, and Rhea Ripley defeated Julia via disqualification. Julia did some fuckery out in the outside, and Julia went ahead with the Northern Lights, and then Lash Legend came out and beat the shit, and that's how Rhea Ripley got the victory. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's how I feel about SmackDown so far, and how I feel this week went. This week was better than Raw. It's a step over Raw. I feel SmackDown every week keeps getting better. Raw keeps digressing. I feel Raw every week is just getting worse and worse and worse and more boring. It's like they're just going along with the narrative. You know, we're on Netflix, I should say, and then we got to keep it very, very safe. We got to play safe, and it's like WrestleMania season. I don't understand. I don't understand WWE. I just feel like WWE is just a giant cash grab. You're trying to sell tickets. Here's the thing with TKO and WWE. You are trying to sell tickets. You need to get people into the stadium at, Raiders, stadium, right? You need to get people into Vegas. To do that, you got to start making things worth it to people. You got to make things worth it. You can't keep doing these half-ass attempts. It's like Elimination Chamber. They're having hard time selling tickets. Why? Because you're not making it entertaining. People, you got to give people a reason to spend $5,000 or $40,000 a ticket. You got to give people a reason, and to get people to spend, you got to make these storylines memorable. And every WrestleMania I've noticed is just, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Again, The Miz met with Uma Feli and tried to offer him his services, self-approached locker room leader. And this was Uma challenging him next week to a match, and slowly dawned upon Miz after Uma left talks with Nick Aldis. Basically, next week it'll probably be him. And Charlotte Flair chatted with Alexa Bliss, as she said she's fine after losing her Elimination Chamber match, or qualifying. Connor James showed up, talked trash, led Flair and Bliss to challenge James and Julia to prove their worth. Probably it's going to go to Connor James, most likely, and this will probably set up. I think they're either going to go with Flair and Jade, or they're going to go with Flair and Alexa Bliss. If they go Flair and Alexa Bliss, that's kind of a waste. Because personally, if you're going to you should do Flair and Jade. I personally believe that. But yeah, this show personally, I mean, outside of a few things, the SmackDown was mid. I'll put it that way. Aleister Black with Selena versus Randy Orton, the title hitting the head. I'm getting tired of Drew McIntyre just running around and hitting titles. It's kind of like MJF when he was doing the Dynamite ring for a long time in AEW. I feel it's getting old, and something bad should happen. I thought maybe Jacob Fatu would spear the shit out of him or do something, put him through a table, announcer's table. But again, this is probably setting up Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes for a match at Mania, giving something to Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes has been on not happy how his WrestleMania season's going. So I do see that, or I see a triple threat between the three, and Jacob Fatu coming out the other side. So Aleister Black goes to Elimination Chamber. I don't need to go over every single thing. Okay, look, he got hit with the title, looked dazed, got hit with the black mask. 1, 2, 3. Cody was trying to run off Drew McIntyre, and Cody looked stupid at the end. Okay, there you go, the end. But to be real, like, SmackDown is the better show. Like, again, and Solo's discussing strategies with the MFTs on how they're going to face the Wyatts and all this different stuff. So it just looks like that's going to be hokey pokey. Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa next week, and the women tag team champions are going to be on the line. I don't think it's going to end well, but that's just me. But, like I said, SmackDown, I'm going to be honest with you, I gave Raw a 7 points. I think I gave it a 6.75. This is going to be a solid 7.0. I'm gonna give it a B-, a C average. It's mid. The SmackDown was mid. Can't change my mind. Jay Cargill, great promos. The way they started out SmackDown, fantastic. Trick Williams winning, fantastic. They got to do these type of things. They got to build up this youth. If they're doing the new era shit, they got to build up youth. Youth. They got to get away from, like, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. They got to start building for the future. But here's the problem with that. Cody and Roman are so ego-tripped. They do not want to give up that. And Roman's already said on podcast he's not willing to give up the booking powers like that. and things like that. And he still wants to be the top guy when he's there, which I find ridiculous in itself. So, that's my personal opinion. I think Roman Reigns. I think he's got another about a year, maybe two in him, and I think he's done personally. I just think that personally. But anyway, I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know down below what you thought of SmackDown. Look, most SmackDown had 3 squash matches. Let's keep it that way. Kind of wasting part of SmackDown. If you're going to do a 3-hour show, you shouldn't have squash matches. And I feel this is how I feel about WWE over AEW. WWE has more entertainment than they actually do wrestling, where it's the vice versa with AEW. They do less entertainment, more pro wrestling. Which one do you prefer? I that's up to you. But at the end of the day, I wish WWE would give you a middle ground of both. They give you, it's like more one or the other, and then AEW goes the other way. It's like, I wish they would give you more for your money than. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.